Imagine laying in your bed, the room dark and silent, when suddenly you feel an overwhelming sense of dread. Your eyes dart around, trying to adjust to the darkness, and that's when you see him. The Hat Man. A shadowy figure donning a wide-brimmed hat, standing ominously at the foot of your bed. You want to scream, to run, but you're paralyzed, trapped in your own body. This isn't a scene from a horror movie, it's an experience that countless people claim to have had. So, who is this Hat Man, and why does he seem to be a collective vision haunting our nightmares? Now, you might be asking yourself, if the Hat Man is a shared experience, what does it say about nightmares and sleep paralysis? Have you ever wondered why nightmares occur? What's the science, or perhaps the folklore, behind the gut-wrenching feeling of terror that grips you in the dead of night? Welcome, brave souls, to a journey into the abyss of the human mind and the shadows that lurk there. Today, we're diving deep into the enigmatic world of nightmares, sleep paralysis, and a mysterious figure known as the Hat Man. Buckle up, because this is going to be a roller coaster ride for the uncanny, the eerie, and the downright inexplicable. And hey, if we can't find answers, at least we'll have some existential dread to keep us company, right?
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go take a shower, so I can't tell if I'm crying or not.
As we peel back the layers of the enigmatic world of nightmares and sleep paralysis, we find ourselves face to face with a figure that has haunted dreams and waking moments of countless individuals, the Hat Man. This shadowy entity, often described as a tall silhouette wearing a wide-brimmed hat, has been a subject of many sleepless nights and frantic Google searches. But who is he? Or better yet, what is he? Is he a figment of our collective imagination, or does he serve as a harbinger of something far more sinister? Real-life encounters with the Hat Man are as numerous as they are chilling. People from all walks of life, different cultures, and various age groups have reported eerily similar experiences. They describe waking up in the dead of night, unable to move, and feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as they notice the Hat Man standing in a corner of the room, watching. It's as if this entity transcends cultural boundaries, becoming a universal symbol of terror. And let's be honest, when people from opposite ends of the earth describe seeing the same hat-wearing shadow figure, you've got to wonder if there is a buy one get one free sale on those hats somewhere in the netherworld. So, why does the Hat Man appear? Theories abound, ranging from psychological explanations to supernatural speculations. Some argue that he's a manifestation of our deepest fears, while others believe he could be a malevolent spirit or even an interdimensional being. But here's where things get interesting. Many of these Hat Man encounters occurred during episodes of sleep paralysis. Ah, yes, sleep paralysis. The state where your mind is awake, but your body is immobile, creating the perfect stage of the Hat Man's unsettling performance. Could it be that the Hat Man is intrinsically linked to the phenomenon of sleep paralysis? It's a tantalizing question, one that opens the door to a labyrinth of other queries about the nature of nightmares, the subconscious mind, and the boundaries between the waking world and the realm of dreams. If sleep paralysis serves as a feeder, then the Hat Man might just be its most infamous actor, forever etched in the annals of nocturnal lore. As we tip our hats goodbye to the enigmatic Hat Man, we find ourselves plunging deeper into the abyss of sleep phenomena. Welcome to the realm of sleep paralysis and nightmares, where the lines between reality and imagination blur, leaving you questioning the very fabric of your existence. So, what exactly is sleep paralysis? Imagine waking up, your mind alert, but your body is frozen in place. You can't move, you can't scream, and you feel an overwhelming sense of dread. It's as if you're trapped in your own body, a prisoner of your own mind. And let's not forget the hallucinations. Shadowy figures, strange noises, and sometimes even the feeling of levitation. Sounds like a party you never wanted to attend, doesn't it? Now, let's take a trip down history lane. Sleep paralysis isn't some modern-day phenomenon cooked up by overactive imaginations. Oh no, it has ancient roots. Take Snorri's Edda for example, an Old Norse text that describes the Mara, a malevolent spirit that sits on the chest of sleeping people, suffocating them. This isn't just a Nordic fancy. Similar beliefs exist across cultures. The Mara is so deeply ingrained in cultural consciousness that it even gave us the term nightmare. Speaking of nightmares, ever wondered why we call them that? The term nightmare has a fascinating etymology. It evolved from the Old French word cauchemar, which dates back to the 14th century and literally means a demon that pushes you at night. I'm going slightly off the script just to give you a little quick fun fact that in other languages they also use the same form of the word. Like in Russian, they say koshmar for nightmares, which comes from French. So yeah, little fun fact. So, the next time you dismiss nightmares as mere bad dreams, remember that historically, they were considered demonic encounters. and you thought your sleepless nights were just because of that late night pizza. But wait, there is more. The world is a buffet of nightmare spirits. In Thailand, they have the PM, a ghost that sits on your chest, popularized in comics and films. This spirit has even been cited in medical studies, trying to understand the phenomenon of sleep paralysis in the country. Turkey offers the Karabasan, a jinn that terrorizes your sleep, and has roots in Islamic folklore that date back centuries. This entity is so ingrained in Turkish culture that it's often the go-to explanation for any mysterious sleep disturbances. Different names, different faces, but the essence remains the same, a universal experience of nocturnal terror. It's like the world's worst cultural exchange program. Now, let's talk about jinns and other entities that make appearances in sleep paralysis episodes. In Islamic traditions, jinns are supernatural beings that can be either good or evil. They're often cited as the culprits behind sleep paralysis in many Muslim-majority countries. In fact, the Quran itself mentions jinns in several verses, emphasizing their ability to affect the physical world. Then there are the old hags of Newfoundland, which are said to visit sleepers and sit on their chests, much like the Mara or Fiam. These entities are often considered to be witches or spirits coming to steal your breath. Whether it's a jinn, an old hag, or some other entity, the cultural interpretations add layers of complexity to already puzzling phenomena of sleep paralysis and nightmares. If sleep paralysis and nightmares weren't enough to keep you up at night, let's throw sleepwalking into the mix. You might think it's just a quirky habit, but it's steeped in its own set of myths and legends. In medieval Europe, sleepwalkers were often thought to be in the midst of battling demons or even in the process of being possessed. In some cultures, it was believed that the soul leaves the body during sleepwalking, journeying into other realms. Here's a fun fact: sleepwalking often occurs during the phase of slow sleep, the same phase linked to the Mara and other nightmare spirits. There are even legal cases, like the infamous case of Kenneth Parks in 1987, where sleepwalking has been used as a defense for crimes ranging from theft to murder. So, the next time you find someone sleepwalking, maybe don't just guide them back to bed. Consider the possibility that you're interrupting a soul journey or a legal alibi. To cap it off, let's address the elephant in the room: the supernatural aspect. Many cultures attribute sleep paralysis and its associated phenomenon to otherworldly entities, like we discussed earlier. Whether it's demons, spirits, or interdimensional beings, their interpretations are as varied as they are spine-chilling. But before you go sprinkling holy water on your bed, consider this: science has managed to induce sleep paralysis in rats. Unless you believe rats are also susceptible to demonic possession, maybe, just maybe, there's more to this than meets the eye. Or the third eye, for that matter. As we emerge from the labyrinth of folklore and cultural beliefs, it's time to don our lab coats and safety goggles. Welcome to the scientific frontier of sleep phenomenon, where we swap out demons for dopamine and spirits for synapses. So, what does science have to say about sleep paralysis, nightmares, and sleepwalking? Well, for starters, sleep paralysis occurs during the rapid eye movement phase of sleep. During this phase, your brain is active, but your body is paralyzed to prevent you from acting out your dreams. Sometimes, however, you wake up before this paralysis ends, resulting in sleep paralysis. No demons required, just a minor glitch in your sleep cycle. Now, let's talk numbers. According to research, about 8% of people experience sleep paralysis at least once in their lifetime. Nightmares, around 85% of adults reporting having at least one nightmare a year. Sleepwalking, that's a bit rare, with estimates ranging from 1% to 15% of the general population. So, if you've never experienced any of these phenomena, consider yourself part of an exclusive club. Or just boring, your choice. But what if you're not just an average Joe or Jane? What if you have a medical condition like PTSD, anxiety disorder, or narcolepsy? Well, then you've hit the jackpot of sleep disturbances. Studies show that people with these conditions are more likely to experience sleep paralysis and nightmares. For instance, around 80% of people with PTSD report frequent nightmares. It's like your brain is hosting a never-ending horror film festival, and you're the unwilling audience. So, how do you escape this nocturnal nightmare? The answer might be simpler than summoning an exorcist. Improving the quality of sleep can go a long way. Research suggests that both oversleeping and undersleeping can trigger sleep paralysis and nightmares. So, aim for that sweet spot of 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. And maybe, just maybe, cut back on the caffeine and late-night horror movie marathons. Your sleep-deprived brain will thank you. As we step away from the sterile confines of scientific inquiry, we plunge back into the murky waters of human experience. Science may offer explanations, but it's the stories we tell that gives this phenomenon life. Or, in some cases, take it away. Take, for instance, the tragic story of 2008, where a mother, convinced her daughter was possessed by a demon due to sleepwalking, took the girl's life. This is not just a tale of horror, it's a cautionary example of the dire consequences that can arise from misunderstanding sleep phenomena. The mother, who was deeply religious, cited biblical passages as justification for her actions, a grim reminder that ancient texts still wield power over modern minds. This story was widely covered in the media, sparking debates about the intersection of religion, superstition, and mental health. It serves as a stark warning that misinformation can be not just harmful, but deadly. The court case that followed became a focal point for discussions on the need for better public understanding of sleep disorders. But let's not forget, these interpretations can vary wildly depending on where you are in the world or even what generation you belong to. In Southeast Asia, for example, hundreds of people have died mysteriously in their sleep, attributed to demonic entity crushing their chests. These stories have even inspired popular culture, like the character of Freddy Krueger. In Thailand, the phenomenon is known as Lai Tai, and in the Hmong community it's called Dap Tsog. Different names, same paralyzing fear. In the Philippines, it's called Bangungot. It has been the subject of numerous medical studies. The phenomenon has even been mentioned in the Talmud, a central text in Rabbinic Judaism, as a curse brought on by demons. In the 1980s, the sudden deaths among the Hmong refugees in the United States were so alarming that they caught the attention of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC for short. And speaking of Freddy Krueger, let's talk about the cultural impact of these sleep phenomena. They've inspired not just horror movies, but also literature, art, and even music. The experiences are so universally terrifying that they've become a part of our collective unconscious, a shared nightmare that we can't seem to wake up from. And it's not just the stuff of ancient folklore. These stories are being shared and reshared on social media, giving them a new life and context. Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Fall of the House of Usher, delves into the terrifying aspects of sleep paralysis. And Salvador Dali's painting, The Persistence of Memory, is said to be inspired by the surreal experience one might encounter in a sleep-paralyzed state. Even Shakespeare alluded to sleepwalking in Macbeth, where Lady Macbeth's nocturnal wanderings became a symbol of her guilt and mental disintegration. But here's the kicker. The more you believe in these supernatural explanations, the more likely you are to experience these phenomena, as a self-fulfilling prophecy fueled by cultural narratives and personal beliefs. So, if you're prone to bouts of sleep paralysis, maybe skip the late-night Reddit threads about shadow people and demonic visitations. Your overactive imagination doesn't need any more fuel. In a study published in the Journal of Sleep Research, it was found that cultural beliefs significantly influence the frequency and intensity of sleep paralysis episodes. So, the next time you find yourself scrolling through terrifying tales before bedtime, remember, you might just be inviting an unwanted guest to your nightly soiree. So while we have unraveled some of the mysteries, the tapestry of sleep phenomena is far from fully understood. Science may offer us a flashlight in the dark, but it's the stories, the myths, and the cultural interpretations that make the darkness so tantalizingly terrifying. So, whether you're a skeptic armed with science or a believer fueled by folklore, the enigma of sleep phenomena offers something for everyone, a universal experience that unites us in our most vulnerable moments. So, if you are as captivated by the tales of the unknown as we are, don't let this be where your journey ends. For more tales of the unknown in the history of life, subscribe to the Den of Unknown. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay updated, and most importantly, share your thoughts or experiences with sleep phenomena in the comments below. Your story could be the missing piece in this ever-expanding puzzle. Until next time, friends.